Hi, welcome to the Connection Precept for the Healing Rite of Passage videos. Um, so connection is our first precept that we're going to explore. Today I have dedicated to connection because I wanted the energy of that blissed out connected feeling to be palpable when I did this video. So what does that mean? What does connection mean? Connection is, it's vital, and that's why it's first. Now, not all of the precepts necessarily go in an order. This is the order that they make sense to me. I do feel like connection is probably the first one for everyone. But, you know, to each his own, and you're welcome to interchange them as you see fit, not logically, but intuitively. I have no issues at all with people adjusting what I teach intuitively. It's when they start doing it logically, where resistance is actually showing up and they're limiting themselves, that I get concerned. So connection is so important, and it's so many things. There's connection to ourselves. There's connection to ourselves. There's connection to the world around us. There's connection to whatever source you envision. There's connection to land and sea, the earth in general, our friends, our family, our community. The most important is connection to ourselves. The second is connection to source, whatever source that means. And source for me is really all in, it's huge, right? It's huge. It's just not this concept of God or Creator, Yahweh. It's Mother Nature. It includes Mother Nature. Source. I feel source energy so strongly when I'm in nature, and usually water, and above all else water. Big bodies of water, moving water. I just feel like that is source, right? That's source. That's where I go to recharge. You might be different. You might be a desert person, you know. I've not been to the desert, so forgive my lack of information regarding that, but you know, just sand dunes for days and the hot sun, you know, maybe that's where you feel source is the strongest. There's no right or wrong in it. It's just what speaks to you, what energy, what frequency you're vibrating at, and what feels like home then to you. You know, the things out in nature that resonate on that same frequency that we're on, that's home for us. So for some people that'll be the city. The source is in the people and the busyness and all of that, and that's fine. You know, it's not where I find, you know, my connection to source. So connection is what fills us up. We want to feel full. That's how we know we've been connected. And when we know we've had enough, and not enough like that's too much, there's no such thing, but enough as in, yes, I'm satisfied, I'm satiated, I'm full. And then because when we're at that place, it's so easy for us to overflow to our friends and our family, and that helps us be connected. When we have something present to give to our friends and our family, that helps us connect with them, and that fills them, and then that in turn fills us. So there's no downside to connecting, right? To taking that time, but you have to take the time to do that. You have to take the time to connect, to be quiet, to be with yourself. And then you have to take time to have quiet or intimate interaction with your friends and family. With your spouse, that might be sexual. There's a great power in sexual energy. So sharing that with your spouse, the intimacy, not just the act, that's vital to our connection, our feeling connected. Just like walking in nature, having that intimacy with our significant other is very fulfilling. It's very satisfying, and it really fills us up even more. And intimacy with our friends, or exuberant joyousness with friends, can also be fulfilling and connecting. Not huge galas are probably less fulfilling and connecting than smaller groups, but it definitely can happen in groups. We definitely can. I've led some retreats where it's predominantly women, but there's so much growth and filling up happens, with as many as 15 or 20 people. There's enough space and enough time for everyone, and everyone is taking and everyone is giving, and that connecting to themselves connects them to each other, which in turn connects them to the world, which obviously connects them to source, and everyone leaves full and in a better space than when they came in. So connecting is really important to do the important work of your life, and that's why it's the first precept. It's the first thing we look at with illness, or with wellness, or with healing. How's your connection? I guess a perfect analogy would be when you call up the computer guy, and my computer won't power up, and the first thing he asks you is, did you plug it in? It seems like a really stupid, condescending question, but the fact is, did you plug in? If you are tired, if you are weary, if you are worn out, if you are done, did you plug in? Did you plug yourself in? Because that's going to make a big difference in the rest of the precepts to follow. It's going to be really hard to do the other work you have to do if you're not connected, if you're not full, if you're not satisfied, if you're not just oozing with love, because that's what connection's all about. It's connecting to that love source, the source within ourselves, the source in the world, the source on our earth, the source in our friends, on our family, in our pets, which he's out of the frame, but my little Ernie's just laying right here next to me. They all, even our children, are sources. As much as they can drain us, even they are sources of fulfillment for us and of connection. I think that's one of the places I really started, one of the times I really started to understand what connection meant. Because when I gave birth to my child and I looked at her, there was a connection that I had never had before. Not with my mother, not with anyone biological to me. There was no other connection like that one with that child, this child that I created. And that's how we should look at our lives, even if we don't have children. We have creations. Our life is our creation, and we should be treating it like we would treat a child, to make sure that it has nourishment and sunlight and joy, that it has purpose and drive, that it's fed and clothed and bathed and loved and nurtured. That's how our life should be, and that's connection. That's all part of the precept of connection. And it's really vital to look at that to get where you want to go. And that is our video for today. And I wish you much love and connection. And if there's one little thing I'll give you by way of some sort of education in this video, it would be to start meditating. That's a really great place to start. And if you're not one to meditate, or if you've tried and it's really not your thing, or you can't quite quiet your mind, I invite you to look on my playlist for guided visualizations. That is the wonderful way to start to learn how to meditate, to train your mind, is to give it a narrative, a guided visualization that will give you the relaxation and the benefits of meditation, but it will occupy your mind along one stream, which is just as good as keeping it quiet. I love you. Until next time.